Hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about cover letters. And before I actually show you an example, I want to remind you that when you're sending out your cover letter, you are a salesperson. You have to persuade the potential employer to employ you. And because of that, you cannot send out a traditional cover letter, which begins something like this. Please accept my application for the position of blah, blah, blah. You don't want to do that because everybody is doing that. And you are competing with tens or hundreds or thousands of other applicants. And the person who is looking at your cover letter is looking at many, and that person gets fatigued after a time. So they tend to throw out the ones which are boring and dull and traditional. But when you begin with a persuasive attention grabber, and when your cover letter persuades rather than just informs them about who you are, that is when you will stand out. So my task today is to show you what a persuasive cover letter is, so that you will put all your effort into ensuring that your cover letter lands in front of the right eyes and gets seen and read. And then hopefully they will call you for the interview. So let's have a look at what we need to do when we're writing a persuasive cover letter. Okay, let's get into the heart of the matter. Let's look at this cover letter. Now, before I look at each section of the cover letter, let me remind you that I already have a video on how to write a letter. So please watch that video if formatting is something that you're still trying to figure out. But the first thing you want to do is that when you send your cover letter, the end product should look something like this, where there's enough white space. As you can see, there's the space between the addresses, between the paragraphs. And even though I've gone onto a little bit over onto the second page, try to keep your cover letter to one page because you want to enhance readability, or you want to enhance the reader's willingness to read the entire cover letter. Okay, now let's actually look at the details of a persuasive cover letter. So for your persuasive cover letter, your introduction must begin with an attention grabber. There are different types of attention grabbers that you can use. The one that I'm using here is the attention grabber that tells the reader that you know someone in the organization, which of course is the easiest type of cover letter to write, but it's not the one that most of us will end up writing because most of us don't know people at the organizations where we're applying. Isn't that true? So I've used this one, but in the next video, I will give you examples of 3 other types of cover letters that you can use. But let's just begin with this one right here. Keep in mind that your introduction must include 5 parts: the attention grabber, the statement about your values and your interests and show that it aligns with their values. Whatever you mention in the attention grabber, you want to mention it again so that they know that you're not just trying to be a salesperson, but you have found out what their values are and you have similar values. You also want to tell them where you found the advertisement. And then you must mention the actual title of the job that you're applying for. And you must actually apply. Sometimes people leave it and they hope that it will be assumed, but you want to be very direct and make that the last sentence in your cover letter, where you say, and I wish to apply for the position of, and you tell the position. So that's what I did here. I said, after learning from my friend and your employee, John Brown, about the outstanding work that is being done at the North Shore Multicultural Society, and after viewing your website, I was delighted to learn of the above mentioned posting. I live on the North Shore, and as an ESL teacher who was an immigrant 17 years ago, I believe in the work you're doing, and I believe that I would be the perfect fit for this job as it involves teaching immigrants. I therefore wish to apply for the position of ESL teacher. Now, when you're doing your introduction, you want to make sure that you have already researched on their website and that you have an idea of some of their values, because you want to show them that you share those values. And when you're writing, you want to be in the head of the receiver, the audience, the reader. And you don't want to just say, I need it, give me, beg, I'm begging you, pick me. Think it, but don't write it. What you're trying to say to them is, I know what you want, and I am the perfect person. So it begins with what they want and not what you want. Once you've done that, you want to continue talking about this. Now, the first section is the A in AIDA. AIDA. And AIDA is the formula that we are going to be using, because that's the sales letter or the sales pitch or the persuasive letter formula. A means attention grabber, and you already have your attention grabber. And in your attention grabber, you're making sure to match your values and their values. Now, in the next paragraph, it's the I, where you're building interest. And that's where you're not just saying, pick me. You're saying, let me show you why you should pick me. And this is when you're going to continue the storytelling that you begun in the introduction. And you're going to make sure that whatever value you discover that they have, you hone in and you double down on that. So choose one or two values that they have and talk more about those values. Because right now, you're building interest. Now, I realize that they're looking for an ESL teacher and they want the ESL teacher to teach immigrants. So I made a connection and I said, well, I was an immigrant. Not only am I a qualified ESL teacher, but I'm an immigrant also. So I zeroed in on that because that's a value that they have. So I wrote, sometimes I believe that we need to see the world through the eyes of immigrants if we really want to assist them. And I know I can do that well. When I migrated to Canada, I realized that even though English was my first language, I still needed assistance with making the cultural leap. That is what I have to offer if I were given the opportunity to teach immigrants at this multicultural society. I'd have a lot to share and could offer invaluable assistance to immigrants so that they can fit into their new society. So I'm going beyond what they're asking for, and I'm realizing that this is a value that they would appreciate. So I'm honing in on that. And that's what you need to do in your second paragraph. Figure out a value that matters to them and talk more about it. Now, in the third paragraph of the AIDA structure, D is when you deepen the desire. So you're going in even further and you're thinking of reader benefits and the things that the reader or the organization wants. And to do this, you're also thinking, this is where I need to reduce resistance. In the third paragraph, we're deepening their desire and we're making sure that they cannot resist us. And this is when you're going to consult what it is that they asked for. So look back at the job ad and you're going to show it to them now in the third paragraph. So you're removing any potential resistance by saying, here is what you asked for, I have it. You know, you want them to say, you want them to know, I'm not just trying to attract your attention. I'm not just trying to deepen your desire. No, I'm showing you. And this is when you're going to use things from the resume. And you're going to highlight the things, the most important things that they need to know. So right here, I tell them, I have 33 years of experience. I've done this, I've done that. If ever you're going to use bullets in your cover letter, And you don't have to. But if you choose to, this is when you would do it. Not in the second paragraph, and certainly not in the first paragraph. But in the third paragraph, you can do that, where you quickly show them what else you bring to the table, because that's what they want to know. What do you have to offer us? So that's when you show them, I've all of these qualifications that you asked for. Sometimes it's not a good idea to tell them everything you have, because if they only want 4 specific qualifications and you have 8, give them the 4. Tell them about the 4. Don't tell them about the 8, because the 8 could stand in your way. Because if your supervisor only has 4 and you have 8, your resume may get overlooked. Your cover letter may get overlooked. It's a human being you're dealing with. So remember, there's always the potential for jealousy. So be very careful. You don't have to reveal everything yet. Okay. And then in the end, you let them know that you are ready and willing to start. And you want to mention the name of the company in the end also. So I'm confident that my teaching experience combined with my professionalism has provided me with the expertise you require to empower immigrants at the North Shore Multicultural Society. Please contact me. I would welcome an opportunity to speak with you. Now, I said that you need to mention the name of the company, because sometimes when you don't, the reader, the audience, the HR person, the recruiter, they think that you're applying everywhere, which you just may be doing, but they think it's less personal. So put the names back in to show, I know that I'm applying right now to the North Shore Multicultural Society and not the VCC Multicultural Society. You know, you want to just have that kind of presence. So once you do that, you would have gone through AIDA. Once you have the 4 parts of the persuasive cover letter, you're good to go. The next thing you need to do after that is get your resume together and then prepare for the interview. So I hope that helps, and I hope you've gotten some new skills and that you're ready to send out your amazing cover letter that is a persuasive one, which follows AIDA. Okay, so I hope that made sense, and I hope you have some new ideas, and I hope that going forward, all of your cover letters will be persuasive now that you know how to write a persuasive cover letter. So until I see you in the next video, bye for now.